Do you sometimes feel like you're invisible? Like there are so many people out there doing what you're doing that it's challenging to stand out? Well, stick with me because in this week's episode, I want to help you to get to a spot where the only person they see is you. Hi, this is Grant Herbert, leadership and sustainable performance coach. And today I want to continue our conversation around the 9 crucial shifts that every leader needs to make in the professional shifts area by looking at your positioning. Last week we started the conversation in the professional shifts, looking at your performance, shifting that from high performance alone to sustainable performance. And today, what we want to do is help you to wrap yourself up and present yourself to the world so that the right people enter that world and want to have an opportunity to work with you. We've all seen it on social media where everyone puts up their best picture of themselves and they portray what they're doing. And if you're in a particular profession, you can see that everyone's doing the same thing. And after a period of time, what ends up happening is that people just turn off their ears and their eyes because it's the same stuff just being regurgitated over and over again. Being able to find something that is exclusive to you or something that gets their attention and interrupts their scroll, interrupts their day in a way that says, "What's that about?" And it captures their intention in an empowering way, in a way that then they say, "Well, I just need more of this person." That's what positioning can do. Now, you can also look at this not just from a perspective of those who are looking at getting clients, but in your career. In organizations, a lot of times people can be just part of the team and they can blend in, and there's so many other people just like you. But what this allows you to do, if you're not in your own practice and you're in that employed situation, is stand out and get the attention of the right people in the right way. I remember in my corporate career, I was very good at what I did technically and I got their attention by doing my job well. However, I wasn't all that good at working with people, which is ironic now that I'm the people builder. But anyway, I got their attention, but for the wrong reasons. And it certainly didn't help me. So hopefully today something will come out of this for you. So as you go through this today, I want you to look through your lens. And if I'm talking about a particular thing which is not really relevant to you, I want you to put it into your own context. So how do you position yourself? Well, the shift here, firstly, that we're going to talk about is going from being invisible to being in demand. Now, hang on a minute, Grant. I don't know if I want to be in demand. That sounds like more work, that more people are going to want me and take their pound of flesh. I think that's a great point that you've brought up. And what I want you to do is to look at this through the lens of self-care, through the lens of performance and everything that we've talked about. You know, that identity and your limiting beliefs and your people pleasing, it all has to be looked through that way so that you are positioning yourself and you've got the boundaries around that so that it becomes a positive thing and not a negative thing. So how do we make this shift from being invisible to in demand? Well, the first thing is to just be you. I know that my biggest challenge coming out of an unhealthy self-worth and a very tired and battered up identity is that I was trying to be who they wanted me to be, or at least who I thought they wanted me to be. And that meant that I was being someone who I wasn't. So authenticity, it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but I still love it because it means being the real deal. So when you position yourself and you create your own personal brand, be okay with who you are. Be okay with the fact that there's things that you do and who you are that others mightn't. And this is the major thing. See, today, people's BS meters are really finely tuned in and they can smell an imposter miles away. They understand when someone is not being who they really are, because the challenge with putting across a persona which is not a true one is you've got to live up to it. And you've got to remember, who was I pretending to be with that person? And therefore, it comes across very uneasy. So with that mindset in place, now you can look at amplifying your authority in your area. And to do that, this is what I believe will help you to go from being just like everybody else to standing out. One of the ways to do this is to become a thought leader. A thought leader is someone who is known for knowing something. So whatever your area of expertise is, it could be writing articles. It could be doing videos like I'm doing. It could be presenting and speaking on stages, or running a podcast, or just doing lunch and learn talks with your team. Whatever it is, it allows people to understand your topic from your perspective. And those nuances of what you know and your experience that you bring into that allows you to have on common topics your own unique thoughts. And those unique thoughts and way of looking at the topic will help you to stand out. To do that, you also need to be okay with the fact that it's not about getting it perfect. It's about having a go. Because I know some of you, when I was mentioning the word presenting, are thinking, no, I'm not doing that. That's way too scary. I think I've told you this before, that in the internal fears around the world, the speaking in public is only second to death by fire. So being okay with the fact that you're there to serve them and not focus on you, and the fact that it's not about getting it right, it's about getting out a message. I think that is the key in that becoming that standout thought leader. So while everybody else is talking the same message, you can look at it from a different perspective that is yours. Now, by doing this, you will attract the people that you need to attract. Your perfect fit client, colleague, role, people that you're working with. And you will stand out to them because there's an alignment. Now that you've worked out what it is that you know and how you're going to present that, you're able to then craft what I call a magnetic message. It's not one of those elevator pictures where people ask you what you do and you give them this canned speech, or you put it on your LinkedIn profile. It's more than that. It's something that comes out of the essence of who you are and what it is that you do in the world. So for me, I help professional services practice owners to reduce their stress and conflict by developing their leadership capacity. So it's a little bit of a message of what I do, and that's just one of the things that I do. So that message tells you that if you're in professional services and you're got a bit of stress and conflict going on, and it's coming from your inability to lead yourself and others, then you'll tune into that. So creating your unique message. That's not the message that is your company, it's the brand that is you. And then the third thing to do is to get your skills built up as an influential presenter. Now, once again, I'm not talking about being a polished performer. I'm talking about being okay to either stand in front of this camera or a room, or just write or speak or whatever you're doing in a way that is inspirational. It's not just giving information. It helps people with their transformation. So there's just 3 things that you can do to position yourself in a way that helps you to stand out, so that the right people come across your world, see who you are, and want to work with you. Well, that's it from me for another week. Join me again next week as we continue the conversation in the professional shifts by rounding it off with the 3rd shift, and that is in your productivity. Yes, that old chestnut that's been around for years. And I'm going to show you how you can get more done with less. I'll see you then.